Okay. That's why I need to introduce this language to you. So we all
Center and London.
yes. Okay. And so this is where Uncle was really found. Or Yaso Karakura. And then another name that's very famous. Okay. Soya means sun, solar, right? So he's the solar king, and he found 1131 he built Uncle Wat. This is he built this one. This. Okay. In the meantime, they've been building since 802. They've been building massive structures, and I'll guess the name. I'll guess the. This final king was the most famous Khmer king of all. You see, since 802 to 1180, there's been 5 Jayavaraman being on Cambodia. So he's the number 7 one. And he found this city called Angkor Thom. Thom means big, Angkor means the city, big city. And if you look at them, go back to the second page. You see this whole map. Okay. And this whole map is the area of the region that is called Angkor Thom. Okay. And Angkor Wat, the one we're going to talk about, hopefully not too soon, would be not too late, would be just a little square in the middle. Okay. You see it say, right. But you see around this area there's over 100, I would say 110 different structures like Angkor Wat built in this area. Wow. Yes. This is what you don't get. You don't get. Okay, Angkor Wat's the most famous one because it's the prettiest one and for some other reason. But there's over 100 structures in this. Built from 802 all the way to 1431. Where the Khmer, so for 600 years he reigned supreme in that area. Nobody can touch it. Our country, Angkor is right here. We have main town out here in Lopburi, which is Bangkok right now. Main town in Laos, main town here, main town everywhere. This whole area is all ours. When Jay Verman was king, this whole area is all ours. And they suspected there was up to 15 million people at that time who in this area. And Angkor Wat itself has maybe about 500,000 people living there. So to give you a scale of what it is, Paris has 40,000 people. When Angkor Wat has 500,000. And England, the whole England, has 2 million people in 1131. So we were 7 times bigger than England was. That's why we always say we're such a great country, we're such a great country. We were a great country.
Basically, content for China is a major country over Asia.
Not the biggest in Asia. Biggest in Asia is India and China. There's no comparison to those two. The Indian civilization is far older than Khmer civilization. The Chinese civilization is far older than the Cambodian civilization. Cambodian civilization started primarily maybe around 500, all the way to now. Indian civilization started minus 3,000, 3,000 BC, before Christ. This is, I'm talking about after Christ. So I mean, if this is civilization, this is India, this is China, we are right here. And the present day is right here. I mean, we're nowhere near it. But in terms of our influence and population in that area, we were very dominant in size. Any questions? Am I losing everybody? Everybody's lost? Everybody's lost. Okay. Maybe we can get that. When you go to Angkor Wat, you see all kinds of sculpture, all kinds of pretty pictures and all those things. Question is, I can sit down and explain to you what Angkor Wat is and all those things. But maybe it's better if I explain to you the main idea behind Angkor Wat, rather than what Angkor Wat has and what it doesn't have.
Yeah.
Angkor Wat is built to commemorate King Suryavarman II, right?
Yeah, Trump government.
No, he's not from Japan. Yavarman Suryavarman II.
Oh, okay.
And it's commemorate to for this god named Vishnu. Talk about Indian religion here. Easiest way to understand it would be to compare these two. An Indian had a god named Brahma, and a Buddha in Buddhism, and let's say Christianity, let's say called the Father. And the next god of India is called Vishnu. It's called Shiva. Okay, in Buddhism it's called Dharma. Have you ever seen the Dharma in gray? You may see Dharma in gray? That's the name right here. That's her name. That's why it's pronounced spelled this way. Okay, in Christianity you have the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, right? Okay, in India you have Shiva and Vishnu. The Buddha is called the Sangha. So it looks like a triple of everything. So Brahma, Shiva, Vishnu, Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, and the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. We don't talk about Christianity, so just take it out. But Angkor is built for this guy, the god Vishnu. But because we are an Indian civilization, before Angkor, most of the thing was built for this god called Shiva. Okay, let me explain all these three guys. Brahma is considered the creator. He has four faces. You see a sculpture of a man with four faces. That's Brahma. He's the creator of the universe in Hindu religion. Shiva, he's the destroyer. He's the one that every so often just destroys the flood, the burning, everything. He's the destroyer. And Vishnu is called the protector. People only worship these two because there's no reason to worship this Brahma guy because he created the world and then he went back to sleep. So you can worship him, nothing happens. So even in India they don't worship Brahma that much. But these two, you worship this guy because he's the one that destroys you. So you want to take good care of him, sleep with him, right? And of course you want to worship Vishnu because he's the protector. He's the one that's going to help you. So this is Angkor Wat, I'm sorry. It's built primarily for this guy, and all the previous structure, many hundreds of them, is to worship this guy. And Angkor Thom I was talking about, it is built to worship Buddha. These two are not the same religion, but they are related. Buddhism is not Hinduism, but it is Buddha came from India and has the same ideas. Okay, but now, so I'm losing everybody. See if any questions so far.
Interesting stories.
For the kids, I figured I'm going way over their head, so it's like, go ahead. Okay, very good. Okay, so I'm talking about I was telling you that my civilization is related to India, okay, and it's talk about the three gods of India, Brahma, Shiva, and Vishnu. Since the temple is built to worship Vishnu, most of the painting, most of the wall is built to worship him. Let me talk about Vishnu. One of the famous story that's taken up the whole wall of Angkor Wat is called the Ramayana. It's a very famous story. Khmer is called Rinke. Okay, this story is spoken all over Southeast Asia. It doesn't matter whether you're in Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, India, anything. This one story is spoken all over. It's just like here we know like the story of Noah, you know, with the flood. This is similar kind of story. If you want to know the story, I can tell you the story. But basically, this god Vishnu, he came down to earth to save mankind, and he came down as this man named Rama. There's a boy named Rama here somewhere. Okay. And his wife name is Sita. It's actually my daughter, I mean. And he came over and he fought like what's Khmer called Yet, which is the demon. Okay, and that's how the story goes. Okay, the one thing that separates Cambodia's culture from every country is the picture of a Naga. The Naga is a snake, and it represents the Khmer people, period. There's no other civilization in the world that use this symbol as much as we do. Let me see. If you look at a picture of the airline of Cambodia, there's a picture of Naga every time. So it's Naga is everywhere. It's, you know, on each tower also there's a Naga. Going up all the way to all the stairways, all Naga. And it came back from the story again. I told you about the town and the lady snake. Everywhere. In the 1300th century, there's a Chinese historian that came down to Cambodia. He visited Cambodia as an ambassador. And he wrote down this account of Cambodia at this time. And it got saved in China, so we have this account. But he said, even in the 13th century, the Khmer king had always, every single night, had to spend a night up in the tower with the lady Naga. And to him, it was the lady snake, which was part of the legend. Every night, the king of Cambodia would spend the night with the lady Naga. And if he doesn't, calamities and flood and everything will destroy the kingdom. It's that big of a legend. Okay, if you look at what I just spoke about, there's a 3-page handout that's connected to all these. If you guys may want to read it over, this is the shortest one I ever seen. So if you guys read it, it'll explain more what I was going to say. But if you turn to the back page of this thing, it has a national anthem for Cambodia. Okay, I'm going to sing it just to show you where we are related to Angkor, right? No, this is all. Okay. So it say Prasa, say La, combine Kandal Three. So you see the translation next to it. They say the stone towers hidden in the jungle. Guas reminded God your evoke the glory of Mohanoko. I didn't translate that. What does Mohanoko mean? Big country. Mohal, neighbor. In the back. There you go. Okay? Okay. And then it has Chia Khmer, those small. The Khmer nation is like the rock. Okay? Ấn Pân Đây là all strong and intact and whole. Vung Vung Trung Ho. Okay? By the way, it says Chia Khmer, right? The Khmer nation, now you know where the word Khmer comes from. And okay, Rừng Pân Trung Ho, Vung Vung Rừng Pân Đây là all Vung Vung Trung Ho. Dân Sông Khâm Phố. Pop Ray from nine of Cambodia. There's Cambodia, that's the word, there's the word again. So we have heard the word Mohanoko, we have heard the word Khmer, now we have heard the word Cambodia. They all have basically the same meaning. Maharot mean land ruled by hand. The great nation with existence in distant past. That's basically our national anthem.
So how do you say it?
Okay, there you go.
Can you sing for us?
I am going to try, and somebody give me, okay, give me a try. Let's go.
Vì có cái phần chẳng hạn.
Okay. Come back on the pray. Tu ai from my neck dog your son. Mahalo go. Cùng vốn đại lõ rừng tân trùng hồ. Dân sông đông phố. Phong phê xe. Rồi bóng Campuchia. Mahalo cả nhiên là như đoạn vai hà. The lecture today, but I want to leave homework. Okay, and the homework is right next to the bottom page. What I want to know is, you know, we're talking about this country that exists in 1802 all the way to 1431, so 600 something years. It stayed in this one place called Angkor, right? And in 1431, they left it. We left Angkor in 1431, and Angkor was not discovered again until 1860. We left the whole country, the whole city, the whole thing for 400 something years. In fact, it's not occupied again until about the 1900s. For 500 years, we left it. Can you give me a reason as to why the Khmer would just leave that country, that whole city all alone? It's like you live in Portland for 600 years, and suddenly one day you decide to leave everything. Just leave Angkor to the vegetation. Nobody even know anything about it. Give me a reason. Give me some reason as to why people would do that. And you can the easiest way to look up in books. All these reasons are all given. Look up on the internet. All these reasons are given. Ask your parents. See if they know. Say, why did the Khmer abandon Angkor? I mean, we can say they lose the war and they have to abandon the city, but why don't they reoccupy it? Let's say Portland, is devastated by an earthquake. People will still rebuild it. But why would we just suddenly leave the whole place all by itself like that? Okay? All right. Thank you.
ba đi lớn đi vào tăng kim sơ lên vào anh